From VTV Channel 6 Studios in downtown Vernal, this is Local Point with your host, Chris Piner.
Welcome to Local Point, brought to you by Strata Networks. I'm your host, Chris Piner. On today's show, we welcome to the studio Alicia Gowan from the Vernal Victim Advocate Program and Desiree Allred from the Women's Crisis Center. So it's good to have both of you back again on Local Point.
Thank you.
Today, can we just start by, let me ask you a little bit about what the Vernal Victim Advocate group?
It's the program.
Program,
yeah.
Is, all right.
We actually work with law enforcement, and we provide services for domestic violence and sexual assault. Also, we just help make sure that victims have their voice heard in the courtroom. Right. So we do a number of different things to take care of that.
Right. Now, since I mentioned program instead of group or vice versa, would you just mention that what you told me off camera, because there has been confusion?
There has been a little bit. Well, we get a lot of phone calls. There's a law firm called the Advocacy Group.
Right.
We are not the Advocacy Group. We are not a law firm.
So just for clarification, this is a different group.
It is. It is. We've been around for years. We're actually housed in the Vernal Police Department. We're the Vernal Victim Advocate Program.
Yes.
Our services are for domestic violence, sexual assault. We help with protective orders. We help with stalking injunctions. We help with services related to being a victim of crime.
All right. That fits with today's, and maybe we can mention right now, really what we're talking about is the awareness in October.
It is. So October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month throughout the nation. So we all take an opportunity to remember about domestic violence, reflect, and make sure that we're aware of the services that are available for someone who may be in that situation.
Right.
So it's been in the news a lot lately, you know,
yes.
with many different people, you know, figures, athletes and things in the news. So it's kind of at the forefront of everyone's mind, which is a great opportunity for us to lead into Domestic Violence Awareness
Month. To bring about some awareness.
Yeah. And
what better people to have here talking about awareness than the two of you. Desiree, you're here from with the Women's Crisis Center?
Right, right.
And can you tell us a little bit about what the Crisis Center is and does?
So what our focus is on, and we work very closely with the victim advocates as well, but we provide safety and then support and services for those who've been victimized by domestic violence. So first, you know, we have the shelter. So if someone needs a safe place to go, they contact us and we get them into the shelter to make sure they're safe. That's our primary goal, is to make sure everyone is safe. And then from there, we help provide services for them and also support, because sometimes, you know, that's a tough thing to be going through. So,
are there different facilities when you said the crisis center and then you said first the shelter? Do you have different office for the other things you do and a shelter, or is all of it in the same place?
Good question. So we do provide outreach services. So we can meet somewhere. Usually we meet at it's the old DSPD building, services for people with disabilities. We can use their office, so I can meet with people there. So it just kind of depends. They don't have to come to the shelter to get services. So we can meet with them, help them create a plan, and again, just to provide the services and support for them as well.
But there is a difference between the Women's Crisis Center and the actual shelter.
No, we're all linked together.
You are all one and the same.
Yes.
All right, all right. And it seems to me that last time you were here, you mentioned networking with other places throughout the state. Isn't that
yes.
right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, we work closely with all the shelters in the state, and actually it can be nationwide. If someone needed help to relocate somewhere else, we can help them do that.
You can do that. So this October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Is that right?
Correct.
Did I get it right?
Yep.
And what kind of things are we going to see to help bring about some awareness?
You know, each program is a little bit different, and you'll see things throughout the entire nation. You may see ads on TV. You may see just different things. We have a domestic violence coalition in Uintah County. We have one in Duchesne County. So both of those different coalitions are working on different activities to bring awareness. You know, you'll be able to maybe see some displays of the number of people that have been impacted by domestic violence in our community. We'll also I know Duchesne County is hosting a 5K on October 11th to bring awareness to domestic violence. So that's a great opportunity to get out, you know, a late run, great time to run, but it's also an opportunity for awareness. I know that they're planning on a number of really fun activities for the whole family, and some raffles and things like that. So great opportunity to do that.
Right.
And then as our Uintah County Coalition, we host a domestic violence conference each year where we talk about different factors related to domestic violence and some of the things that maybe different agencies need to be aware of. And so our conference is scheduled for October 24th this year.
And that will be held?
It's held at the Vernal City Office Building. We will be taking registrations soon. We'll be putting some flyers out for that. A great opportunity. We're going to be talking about trauma-informed victim services as we're working with domestic violence.
Who might you hope will come to that?
You know, a lot of times we have law enforcement there. We have agencies that work and provide to some of our sister agencies.
Right.
We have clerks and judges and people
and of course
in the community.
Everybody is involved or invited to come and take part. Well, that's great. All right, I do want to talk to both of you a little bit more about some of the things that are going to be happening and what we can do if we are aware of some domestic violence. What steps to take next, right? So we'll be right back after this message from our sponsor, Strata Networks.
Strata Networks is proud to bring the first true 4G LTE network to the Uintah Basin. 4G LTE is the most powerful mobile broadband available anywhere in the world. With speeds up to 10 times faster than 3G, you can stay connected like never before. Video chat without delay, stream HD TV or movies in an instant, and download or upload in seconds. For details, visit us in Roosevelt or Vernal or call 622-5007. More speed, more power. 4G LTE, only from Strata Networks.
Welcome back to Local Point. Alicia Gowan and Desiree Allred are here discussing Domestic Violence Awareness Month, which is October.
It is.
Right? And we talked a little bit about some of the things that are going to be going on to bring awareness to domestic violence, such as the 5K in Duchesne County, and then you mentioned a conference here here in Uintah County at the Vernal City offices.
Yes.
October 24th. All right.
October 24th. And our theme is trauma-informed victim services. So it's an opportunity to learn a different way of working with people that makes sure that we're aware that they've had trauma in their life. You know, trauma means so many different things. So we're going to reflect on that, learn more about it, and hopefully be able to provide some more services.
Yeah. Now, bringing about awareness, what is the overall goal? Are people unaware of domestic violence?
I think they are, and I think sometimes there's still that misconception that what happens in somebody's home is their business, that it's nobody else's business. So I think helping people to understand that domestic violence is a crime, and that there is help out there for individuals who may be experiencing it.
So this is awareness for those who may be experiencing it, as well as for those who may
be impacted
or aware, and we're all impacted, so this is for all of us.
Right.
Really.
You know, there are so many times that we may work directly with a victim of domestic violence, as someone who's been the center of that domestic violence, but a lot of times we'll have family members that will call, a concerned sister, a dad, maybe a neighbor, a bishop, just different people that are calling saying, how do I get services? How do I help this person? Help me to understand what domestic violence is so that I can offer better support.
And is that the proper thing to do? If someone has questions, should they call either of you, or should they call you?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll be able to help them understand what domestic violence is and make them aware of the resources that we have available in the basin, as well as maybe across the state or in other states. You know, I'll get phone calls where someone will say, maybe my sister's in Tennessee and I don't know how to help her. And so, you know, we get on Google and we start searching for different services.
Right.
And
Thus the
looking for those
networking
things
that we were referencing before. That makes sense.
Yeah.
And off camera, you had mentioned to me when we were talking a little bit more about the Women's Crisis Center that it's also for men, not just exclusive for women. Tell me just a little bit about that, Desiree.
Well, I think primarily, domestic violence does affect women. However, men can be victims of domestic violence as well. I think there's a misconception that it doesn't happen to men, and it does. And so we will provide services for men. We want them to be safe as well. We may not house them at the shelter if they need a safe place to go, but we'll help find a safe place for them to go, because again, safety is number one. And then also just helping provide that support and services for them as well.
Right. All right. So would you say the first step then, if someone is aware of a domestic violence situation, would be to contact law enforcement? What should they call? Should they call the victim advocate?
There's a lot of different ways to step your foot into services. You know, if there's a crime being committed, if you're worried about their safety, you know, law enforcement can do welfare checks. They can go and see what's going on. You know, if you hear your neighbors in a domestic violence situation, of course you need to call. Make that phone call. You don't know if you're going to save someone's life or not. So make that phone call to law enforcement and let them get involved. Let them sort through it. But you can also call us. We can help. You know, we don't work just with people who've been involved with law enforcement. We help a lot of people that have never talked to law enforcement before.
Right. So how would, Desiree, what would you say to the person who says what you said before, this is not my thing, that's in someone else's home? What would you say to that person to encourage them to see it differently?
Well, again, just, you know, when there's physical abuse, that's against the law. That's putting someone's life in danger. And you know, you're not helping
by
them.
not saying something, you're almost contributing in a way. I don't know, that sounds a little direct, but
it's a community.
There's a responsibility that we have to report, to protect.
It's a community issue. It's not just a family issue. We have an obligation to help our community be healthy. And when we stand up for one another and we say, you know what, this is okay and this isn't, we're helping our community be more healthy. And so we want to teach our kids what a healthy relationship is. We want to help them understand what's okay and what's not okay, so that our future generations are doing better.
So if we have one of our viewers, a family that is watching today, and they think, well, let's take on this topic and discuss this as a family, or get more information about it, or get involved in some kind of a drive to help, what should they do? Are there resources, phone numbers, places they could call, websites?
Yeah, there's a lot of great resources. First of all, we have the UDVC, which stands for the Utah Domestic Violence Coalition, and it's statewide. They have a website, so you can gather information on their website. There's also National Domestic Violence.
And you could probably even web search these things, or contact both of you.
That's right.
All right, we are out of time today. It's always more that we need to talk about. We appreciate you coming, and we appreciate you watching. And we hope you join us again next time right here on VTV Channel 6. And remember to like us on Facebook for updates on your favorite VTV programming.